Namaste! Welcome to this video about how to heal sadness and find your inner passion. My name is Anemone and I will explain to you in this video how to get through these hard emotions. Maybe you're experiencing that you can't stop crying, that you just constantly, every day, for a long period of time, find yourself crying. Or maybe you're experiencing that you want to cry, but it's like it's stuck in your throat and in your heart or anywhere else really in your body. It can also be that you're experiencing that all the time you end up in a situation where you feel sadness. Something happens and you end up crying. If you're experiencing this, it's usually because you have a contract with the emotion sadness. So what I will explain in this video is how we have actually these emotional contracts that we're born with. So there's not a lot of people talking about this, but when I learned about it, it helped me a lot. We all know that we come with past life experiences, we come with karmic experiences, but actually we come here with an emotional contract. And this means that some of us, we have a tendency to feel a lot of anger, some of us feel sadness, others jealousy, and this is actually something determined before we got here. So when we try to avoid it, we try to not feel sad, we try to not be jealous, we're actually just prolonging our time with the emotion itself. Let me explain. You're born with a contract that determines how long time you are to spend with sadness. But you don't know if it's for a short second or for a long time. And in our mind, we create this story that okay, now I cried it out, so now it must be over. I don't have to continue to feel this emotion. If I continue to feel the emotion, it must mean that I'm weak. And it's actually not true. But I understand if you think this way, because feeling sadness, crying, feeling anger, but especially sadness, is devastating. And there's a part of us that tries to protect us, especially in our ego system. It tries to protect us from not feeling sadness. And that's why we can't allow ourselves to feel it. We can't really make ourselves cry. And that's why sometimes the universe puts stuff together so that something happens in order for you to feel sadness. And in this way you will start to release the time and the emotion that you need to feel in order to transform and change. And you don't know if this time you cry is the last time or if it's not. So this is really about surrendering. And surrendering is so hard. It's about finding your courage to, okay, I will do this. I will feel this emotion. I will get through it. And to trust that there is a better feeling on the other side. So what this video really is about is an explanation for you to know that what you feel is normal and to not repress your emotion, but to actually feel it in order for it to come out. In some of the ancient practices in like Buddhism and Taoism, which are practices that I am mostly familiar with on the spiritual path, it's taught that it's not good to raise an emotion, it's not good to express it, because then you take your energy and you give it to the emotion. In order to experience this high level of consciousness, what you need to do is not have emotions and focus on emptiness or nothingness or stillness. And I do agree that stillness cultivation is very healthy for us, but when we have an emotion, it's not helpful and it's not healthy to avoid the emotion and go to feeling emptiness. And really, I think it's a misunderstanding on the spiritual path that you're supposed to not feel. It's actually, when you go deep into the teachings, not what they're saying. They're just different levels of the teachings, and everyone wants to become enlightened. I want to become enlightened and be like the Buddha, or be like the Master. But the first step is to be your own guide. And the first step is to feel and to try to help yourself not have problems and not repeating the same problem. And when you have sadness, it's actually because you have inside yourself an energy that's not expressed. Sadness is created from the repression of not being passionate, not knowing what to do, not expressing what you want to do and being who you want to be. When we feel sadness, we actually don't know who we are because we cannot feel it. It's like blocked in there. It's okay that you don't know right now what your passion is, but what is important is that you now know that it's something you can find inside yourself if you allow yourself to go through the sadness. And when you go through the sadness, you will find this little spark inside. It's like a light in your heart. And from that spark of light, your sadness will start to go away, and your passion, it will grow, it will start to blossom. If you're interested in how to do it, there are many different ways to release an emotion. I have a video which you can find in my YouTube where I take you through releasing it with the help of yoga. If you're more into something else, you're welcome to do that. After you've released your emotion, there are different things that you can do. So I've been on the spiritual path for more than 10 years now, and in my experience with sadness, it's very connected with what we in Chinese medicine call the 5 elemental theory. It's actually very connected with your organs, especially with your heart and your lungs. So it can be very good to do something good for yourself after releasing and crying, getting it all out. And what I would recommend you to do is to eat dark chocolate. And this is from Chinese medicine perspective, so it's it's good enough for me at least. So dark chocolate is very good for you. It is a bitter taste, and this is good for healing your heart. It can also be a raw cacao powder. You can also eat some brown rice, which is good for your lungs, and drink some Himalayan salt. But most importantly, it's very good to take a warm bath with salt that you put on your skin, because the salt will help you to release the old energies and flush it out. I wish you the best of luck, and I wish you blessings on your spiritual journey, and I do hope that this video will bring you hope and courage to go through your sadness. Namaste.